This is the Bitcoin 1 year overview reading for the year of 2023. It's currently November 22nd, 2022, 8:52 p.m. Eastern Time. And the current price of Bitcoin at the time of this recording is $16,192. Really took a nosedive. So with that said, I also took a look at the 10-year and updated that, but we'll get into that. So the overall theme and behavior, guys, we have a breakout is the overall theme and behavior here for Bitcoin. It's crossed with an important resistance level that's highlighted, and quite a bit of volatility when we meet that resistance level. The highest high for the year of 2023 is met when we have an unexpected move higher. It'll really stand out on a 1 year chart. And then the low for the year of 2023, out of that low, there's a rally that increases with momentum moving forward into the remainder of the year. Before we go any further, let's take a look at the 2022 1 year, which was conducted, or it was recorded on July 17th, 2021. So the 2022 reading that we're still using today was recorded in July of 2021. I have a high here, and this is a very old, outdated version of the 1 year spread, by the way. So the 1 years now they have a lot more detail and accuracy. But with that said, let's see. I had a high here in January. Each one of these four clusters of four cards represents a month. January, we have a high in January, a low in February, and a high in another high in April, and a low in April. So we have a high here in January, and it looks like that low's just outside of February, so pretty good, solid. Then we have a high in just at the end of March, so pretty solid there, guys. You have to give like I always say with the 1 years, each one of these cards on the timeline represents about 2 weeks of time, and that's not going to line up. Each energy is not going to line up specifically with 2 weeks all the way through, so you have to give it a little wiggle room here or there, but that's pretty solid. And then we have this notable drop, looks like in July. Well, first we have a notable drop to a low in June. June. Oh, right, okay, and so then there's the low within close proximity to the high there. There's a low within close proximity, so it's right there, just on the very beginning of May. All right. July, we have that halting of a bullish trend. So out of June, we have this bullish trend. Looks like there's a halting there in July, or more so in looks like August, really. So this move here, this is a lot of the time, that's what the Prince of Swords will look like. It's kind of like some jagged behavior, but to the upside. All right, so Prince of Swords there, and it looks like it carried over into the beginning of August, right? And that's where we have that unicursal decline. So we started the decline again pretty hard from there. There's a notable high that stands out in early October. It looks like we have it really in September, but there's that pop right there towards middle of September. And then where we're at right now, this is that Ace of Discs, this big drop here, Ace of Discs. So we should see a relatively strong rally moving out of this, especially because this has been a down kind of year, and the overall theme here is a big move to the upside, reaching for distant resistance. So we'll probably see something like that in this final month of December, especially because we have this correlation here with the Ace of Wands. We have this correlation to the theme card here. So we'll see a big move to the upside, reaching for distant resistance. And with that said, it's also the Ace of Wands, an opportunity to open up a short position. And when we look at the 10-year, after doing a markup of the 10-year and adding a trade card here and a sneak preview card there, really enlightened me. So what we have here, when we look at the 10-year thus far, 2020, and you have to, with a 10-year, each one of these cards represents a whole year, and the energies are not going to line up like that. Sometimes you have to give it a year's wiggle room, really. So like in 2020, Up until that point, we're like in this decline out of this high here. We're in this decline, right? 2021 is where really it starts in 2022, but what we're looking for is a sequence, and we have this Aeon card, which pushed the upper range much higher. Then 2022, we have this erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level, and in the midst of that erratic behavior, we revisit a past crest, which was a recent opportunity, and you can see we have this erratic behavior, and we revisit a crest that was recently a past opportunity. So my sense is that we're still in the midst of that erratic behavior. There's a low correlation here in 2023. My sense is that we see an early low in 2023. And then out of that low in 2023, we have this rally that increases with momentum moving forward into the year, followed by somewhere between 2023's rally and 2024, there's a decline, and then the end of that decline towards the end of 2024 ends with a fast sudden move higher. It may be early 2025 or 2024, late 2024, but there's a fast sudden move higher marking the end of that decline, bringing us to a new high. That fast sudden move higher will take us to a new high. Either that or the rally in 2023 that increases with momentum would take us into 2024, and there's a new high and then a decline and then a pop higher ending that decline. But whatever that fast sudden move higher marking the end of the decline and the end of 2024 or in 2025, it's going to be a peak that's easily missed. That new high will be easily missed and will decline pretty substantially through multiple support levels on a multi-year chart there in 2025 into 2026. In 2026, the decline in 2026 marks an opportunity to open up a long position, and in 2027, roughly, we have this move higher, pushing the upper end of the range, successfully turning resistance into new support. A male government is highlighted, I should say. Government, not a male ruler per se, but government is highlighted in 2028. I feel like I left something out here, so let me take a look at the low. Lust card. No. Okay, well, so we have this move, this push higher. There's a correlation between the theme card and the low card. So the fact that we have correlations to the theme card here says to me that there's probably a low in here. So we go from the successfully turning this resistance into new support on the scale of a multi-year chart. Just there's a big move in, maybe it continues into 2028. But then there's like something to do with government highlighted. We have the completion of a bullish trend. And then there's a decline there starting in 2028 that continues into 2029, and we break through a resistance level, break through a support level in 2029 that we recently broke through once before, so probably back in 25, 26. And then the sneak preview card, we have a failed attempt to break through key resistance, and we have a high correlation in the next 10-year period. So we will see another significant high, either the same highest high or a higher one sometime within 2030 to 2020 or 2039. But that's the 10-year, guys. And with that said, we're kind of in the midst of the end of this period of erratic behavior back and forth. We'll probably see a bit of that in early 2023, and we have that low, and then out of that low, that rally starts. So that'll help illuminate for us 2023. Now let's get into that. We have a trough and a decline, a notable decline on a one-year chart in early January, and then there's a trough in early January as well. But then out of that trough, we move higher through a resistance level. We stay above the resistance level briefly. It's a notable crest as well. It'll stand out as a prominent high at some point, because the abundance card usually it'll be like a new high within like a local period of time. So sharp decline early on, and then to a trough, and then we have a move higher through key resistance on at least a 1 month, but probably a 1 year chart. And we stay above it briefly. We break back down through the same price level shortly thereafter. Behavior around the January high, we have a period of volatility that within that volatility there's a sharp dip that'll stand out on it, a 1 year chart. Behavior around the trough, this trough or low that we'll see here, it's like not a major trough, but it's a trough on the chart, not a major trough. Kind of like a minor trough, but there's towards the third week of the month of January, there's a big move to the upside, a big notable move higher that'll stand out, and we push the upper end of a range higher. Late January, there's an early there's a, excuse me, there's a resistance level that's highlighted, and we have some sort of like, either it's like we have like some sort of like calming down of like volatility, and we kind of flatten out for a bit at this resistance level, or there's some sort of like legal or litigation type of stuff early on in January around the high, and that kind of like that kind of comes to a conclusion or something there. I think maybe both. In any case, there's a trade opportunity in early February, and it's marked something to do with the trade opportunity has something to do with Congress. Congress is highlighted. There's usually a holding pattern around the Hierophant card, which is a correlation here to early January. Yeah, so I think what we do is we have this sharp drop in early January. There's a pop and drop again, and then we have a lower level in like the third week of January, but we push pretty high and hit this resistance level in like the cusp of January, or into maybe the second week of February even. From that resistance level, though, we have a notable decline through multiple support levels on a 1-year chart. It looks like that resistance level ends up being a prominent high for the year. So our first prominent high for the year there. I'm advised to be cautious around the February high, which is probably in the second week there. There's a lot of erratic behavior there, back and forth, and a crest that's revisited. Yeah, there's some sort of fake out or shakeout or multiple false tops there in February, but there's a prominent high that stands out, and then we have a decline. We have a decline. All right, so you know what? We decline in early February, and there's a trade opportunity from like that high or peak that we have, and then we come to another trough, minor trough, let's say in the mid part of February, and we have a big push higher out of that, even in the face of seeming overwhelming headwinds. But there's multiple false tops there in February, and we want to be aware, because late February there's a decline that increases with momentum moving forward into the month of March. And in early March, there's a correlation to a major prominent trough or low for the year for Bitcoin there. It'll be our first prominent low that stands out, and there's a U-shaped dip that takes place, forming within close proximity to the intersection of two perpendicular diagonal trend lines. There's a swing trade opportunity there's a swing trade opportunity in early March involving a move higher through resistance, we stay above it briefly, and then we have a full retracement of that move back down through the same price level shortly thereafter, making kind of like a capital A in the English language, if that price level that we break through and then back down was like the horizontal line in the A. Behavior around the high. Wow, okay, so out of that trough, that prominent trough, there's a support level that stands out, like it'll stand out on a 1-month chart. There's a support level around the low there, somewhere around the trough in early March. And we kind of, like I said, it's a U-shaped dip, so we come back. There's a period of volatility in that U-shape, but we come back with ending that period of volatility with a fast sudden move to the upside, and that's like a breakout, probably to another prominent high. It's a breakout on a 1-year chart to a prominent high. It looks like in the third week of March, and then from that we have a decline in late March. Yeah, so we have a decline in late March that offers an opportunity to open up a long position. It looks like that decline continues into until it meets a trough somewhere around mid-April. A notable trough that'll stand out, or a notable bottom that'll stand out there. The death card is always a notable bottom that's it'll stand out on a 1 year chart for sure. Oh, I just noticed something. So there's a correlation here. Oh, I already have the circles for it, but I need to draw a line. Interesting. So it looks like there's like a we'll get into that when we get there. So in April, out of that trough, there's a bit of a rally, like looks like starting mid yeah, so out of this, like, I'm sorry guys, so we have like this high here, this breakout to a high in the end of March, and then there's a sharp drop there over the last week of March and into April. Sharp drop. And then we have like this erratic behavior, kind of like Prince of Swords energy, like jaggedy, but more to the upside when we get to middle part of April, and we test a resistance level. It's a key resistance level on a 1 year chart. We tested it. It looks like we're going to break through because we've falsely established support just prior to it, and we've tested that resistance level at some point. But instead we turn around and we decline after 3 pokes through a price level. We decline through that resistance level, and it looks like the decline takes us into early May. So see this Ace of Cups and Ace of Cups and Death energy. This is probably the bottom, guys, right around here. We may revisit the bottom here at the Princess of Cups. Very similar energy, but you can see these two kind of signal together. The combination, which is somewhere here between April and May, it looks like, is a bottom. Probably closer, hard to say, but somewhere around like between April and May, there's a bottom there. Good opportunity to get in on the long side of things. And so we have this failed attempt to break through key resistance in April. The low is also within close time proximity. The April month's low is within close time proximity to this high that we have, and it looks like in late April, we have 3 pokes through the same resistance, and then that sharp drop, and a lot of ground is covered to the downside. But then in early May, out of that decline, there's a notable move higher from the bottom of a range all the way to the top of a range, at least on the scale of like a 1 month kind of scale. And we see that high again. It looks like we may push that high. No.
Okay, that Ace of Discs is bullish. There we go.
Okay, so this is a bottom, guys, and then we have like we go into a high towards the end of the years. Our highest high. You can see we have a high correlation to the sneak preview of 2024. So we're probably like rallying into a high, like in 2024 there at that point. This is just all coming to me now. So in any case, we have this again a failed attempt to break through key resistance here. At a prominent high for the year, probably the same high that we had this failed attempt to break through key resistance. It was a disappointment here in April. We probably see it again here in May. So we go from the bottom of a range all the way to the top of a range and retest it again, fail. There's an agreement between two leaders or a merger of some kind that's highlighted in late May. And we see decline there in late, like from the high in like the second week of May. We see decline into June, and the decline, by the time we get into June, that decline becomes an opportunity again to open up a long position. But there's a notable decline from that high that we see. Yeah. So June is really bearish. It looks like. June is really bearish. So that decline continues out of the high in May, continues into June, and there was multiple support levels that were broken down through. It was literally like the halting of a bullish trend marked by a sharp decline through a key support level on a 1-year chart. And then that decline continues. It continues into late June. Continues into late June, and then even into July. And then in July, we see a prominent trough or low there for the year, a prominent trough or low. It's really hard for me to determine exactly where the lowest low is. I didn't get that information. Same thing really went with the high, so my sense is that it's that ace of discs at the end of the year, though. But in any case, so we have this, out of this prominent trough or low for the year that we see in July, looks like in early July, we have this big push higher, breaking through multiple resistance levels, notable rally on a multi-year chart, and there's a breakout there. There's a breakout to reach a high that ends up being in in early August, I think. So this breakout out of the rally out of the low in July, breaking through multiple resistance levels, breaking out and reaching a unicursal hexagram kind of energy. I'm advised not to start any new positions around this high here that we see in August. It actually plays. That price level, that high in August, it's a good position or a good marker point as far as price level, where we'll see a higher price level, a notably higher price level, and a notably lower price level within a few months of the high that we see here. The price level of the high in August, it's like a mean point for like a straddle or a strangle. If you could do that with Bitcoin, you can't, but you can play both sides of the market. In any case, not a place to open up new positions. So it sounds to me like there may be some temptation to chase a rally there in early August. But that rally by mid to late August, that rally that started in July ends up being an opportunity to open up a short position, rather than chasing a rally, open up a short position, open up protection around that high. We see probably the third week of August. There's a notable reversal around the low there, the low of July, August, let's say. Notable reversal. Yeah, notable reversal around the low, which may actually, that low may actually end up being like the end of July into August. It's hard to say, but by the end of August, there's a notable move higher. So like the decline out of the August high down to and through a support level, made another one, and then we rotate sideways for a bit. Then there's a big move higher in late August to reach for resistance. There's a cash out opportunity there as well. This is like early September at a key resistance level on a 1-year chart. And then from mid-September, there's some erratic behavior back and forth through this same price level in like mid to late September. We revisited a crest that was recently a past opportunity, so within like the last couple of months, and then there's an opportunity there really to open up some protection there towards the end of the month when we revisit that crest. The low for September there, it forms when we have this rally that ends with a rally along a diagonal trend line that ends with a fast sudden move higher, and then a decline through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. And it looks like that decline is really, at least takes us into, or it starts in, or it takes us into. It starts on the cusp of September, October, or declines into this prominent trough again for the year that we have here in early October. And then out of that trough that we have, that prominent trough in October, which is a trade opportunity as well, there's some sideways fluctuation with a bullish trend preceding a decline. But that sideways fluctuation with the bullish trend, it offers an opportunity to open up a trade, or to place a swing trade, something to do with a move higher through resistance, and we stay above it briefly and break back down through the same price level with a full retracement. Congress also highlighted it looks like in October as well. We attempt to establish support around the high of September. It looks like it's probably, there's a big move mid to late October, a big move to the upside out of the low, that prominent trough or low that we see. There's a big move to the upside. We successfully turn resistance into new support, at least temporarily. We attempt to establish that as new support there, towards the cusp there of October, November. And then there's price swings in October, November. We're capped out at the upper end of a range for the month's high of November, and then another prominent trough there in around the low, a prominent trough for the year around the low for November's. Where we went from a crest where we sell down to and through a support level, and then we do a U-shaped reversal below that support level, come back and reuse it as support. That's how we form the trough there in November. And then there's a fast sudden move higher out of that trough, creating a peak or crest at multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance in early December. Sideways fluidity along a key support level sideways fluidity along a key support level, and it's key support at like a new support level at the upper end of a range. I'm advised to place a trade there, something to do with Congress is highlighted. And it looks like we have a higher high in the year of 2024, but there is also a notable decline in the midst of that. And that does go hand in hand with what we were saying, where we have like this rally that increases with momentum moving forward in time in 2023, and then somewhere between 23 and 24 there's a drop that ends with a big move to the upside. So everything in line with what we said thus far. That's Bitcoin for 2023, my friends. If you want to see monthlies, guys, I cannot do Bitcoins monthly every single month. It's not, there's other people that need to see things too. The only way that happens, guys, is if somebody's good enough to support the channel by going to our website, tarotfortraders.com, and ordering the Bitcoin 1 month recurring reading. It's $25 a month. It's well worth it, guys. You can cancel anytime. It's obviously worth way more than $25 a month, and it's the least that somebody could do to support the channel for all the free work we do. The amount of time that this Bitcoin 2023 reading easily tops 5 hours it took to do this reading. Thanks, guys. Make sure you follow that rule of karma. a little bit forward, a little bit backwards. Make sure whatever you spend that money out of, you spend it out of love, and the universe is going to send it back to you tenfold in all directions. I'll see you on the next one, guys. All right, guys, so we're going to do Q&A here and isolate some price levels. But for those of you that are interested, first off, the 2022 reading was conducted and recorded on July 17th, 2021. This 2023 reading that were the shuffle was and the photo itself were both conducted on October 26th. You can see this is the shuffle file right here.
This is the 2023 one-year overview reading for Bitcoin. It's currently October 25th, 2022, approximately 2:55 p.m. The current price of Bitcoin is approximately $20,266.30 at the time of this reading.
All right, so is Bitcoin's lowest price level in the year of 2023 taking place on the cusp of March, April 2023? Yes. Do we see that price level more than once in the year of 2023? Yes. Interesting. Do we see it a second time in June of 2023? Do we see it a second time? That was a no. Do we see it a second time in May of 2023? Yes. Okay, so that decline that offers that opportunity, this thing right here, this decline that offers an opportunity to open up a long position, really it looks like it takes place more so in the end of May. Is Bitcoin's highest price level for the year of 2023 taking place in December of 2023? No. Interesting. Wait, is that a no? I need to make sure that's a no. It's a maybe. Interesting. Does it take place? Does Bitcoin's highest price level take place? Does Bitcoin's highest price level for the year 2023 take place more than once in the year 2023? Yes. Okay, and we had that breakout there. So then do we see Bitcoin's highest price level of 2023 taking place in does Bitcoin's highest price level for 2023 take place in October? Yes. Is Bitcoin's highest price level for 2023 taking place in both October and December of 2023? Yes. Is there a higher price level? Does Bitcoin have a higher price level in 2024 than it does in 2023? Yes. I got that Knight of Cups card. Well, there you have it, folks. So we've got a low on the cusp of March and April, and then we've got the highest highs both in October and again in December, and then a higher high in 2024, my friends. That's Bitcoin 2023 or Bitcoin for the year 2023. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, my friends, and most importantly, support that channel and support the universe. Do good for the world, and the world will do good right back at you and everybody else around you. It's like a perpetuating like good deed. So make sure whatever you spend that money out of, you spend it out of love. Pay a little bit forward, a little bit backwards, and all of it out of love. And I'll see you guys on the next one.